All you suckers out there, I pity you fool if you don't watch the comic book show. You heard it? Now get out of here before I really get mad.
Today on the Comic Book Show, Mystery Science Theater 3000, an interview with Todd McFarlane and Mr. T.
Welcome to the Comic Book Show, the only TV show about comics. Your central authority for cartoons, comic books, and collectibles, and other stuff that doesn't begin with C. Welcome to the show. I'm Tony.
I'm Nikki.
And this is show number 6. Now it's time to take a look at today's Super Series. A Super Series is about superheroes or heroic exploits. Today, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, wait, I lost him. Oh, nope, there he is.
Mitchell, even his name says, is that a beer?
Well, you know, they're easy to follow when they use their turn signal.
Man, why don't they just tie their bumpers together? You know, it's not an official chase scene without the walk at your walker.
Yeah.
Hot merging action.
Oh, goodness, they merged successfully. My heart was in my throat. Mitchell. Geez, these guys couldn't shake a trolley.
This makes driving this daisy look like Bullet.
I love this show. I haven't seen it that often because I don't get the Comedy Channel, and I have to go to somebody else's house to watch it, but it's really funny. That's about all I can say about it. I mean, there's robots, there are guys who sit around and watch a movie and make fun of it, which is basically what I do 24 hours a day.
No, really, I love MST3K. It has this great little cult following, all the little Misties, kind of like, you know, Trekkies. And it's just really, really funny. I mean, Joel, the main guy in it, is just a creative genius, and the bots are tremendous. You got Crow and Tom Servo, and it's neat because they really get all these great points and effects across, and it's one of the cheapest shows made on television today. I mean, one of the bots is made out of a gumball machine, another one has a bowling ball pin and a lacrosse mask. You know, it's great.
And you got to really like the way the show started out. I mean, it just started out, and these guys did it on their own, and they passed the tapes around, and there's clubs and newsletters and a whole little following that they have going with the show. It's great. That's why I give Mystery Science Theater 3000 a 5 on the Mighty Meter.
I also give it a 5. I'm a huge fan. I watch it every night.
Taking a look at This Week in Comics, I'm definitely going to recommend the new Shadow War that's gearing up for Milestone Media. The events start in Static number 7, which is out this week, so if you want to get in on the story, now's the time. Milestone publishes Static, Hardware, Icon, and the Blood Syndicate.
You should really check out Night Stalkers from Marvel Comics. Right now, they're in the middle of this really cool Siege of Darkness storyline, in which it really is every Midnight Sun fend for himself. And this time, Marvel is not going to cheat me, Tony. I don't care what you say. It's going to have the proper ending.
They'll cheat you okay. I told you not to buy Maximum Carnage, and I bought some of that, and I don't know. I'm just not happy with the way Marvel's been going right now. I'm hoping that the Siege of Darkness is going to turn things around for Marvel, especially since they took Doctor Strange and the Scarlet Witch out of the regular Marvel universe and putting them in this new evil, dark kind of thing. Another title I'm looking to recommend this week is Action Comics 694. This is a Superman story. Superman's been getting pretty cool ever since he came back to life. Ever since they revamped the comic, too. I mean, Superman's been good. I enjoy Superman. It's cool.
Superman is still a clean-cut, spandex-clad bozo.
No,
I don't care
now
what
he looks
you
like
say.
Fabio.
Oh, that's a real improvement. Anyway, you should read, if you want to read a real good DC hero, read Robin. Yes, Robin is off on his own adventures now, the Tim Drake Robin, perhaps the coolest Robin of them all, and it's great because it's it's real to the point that, you know, he has teenage dilemmas too. I mean, he still worries about getting his homework done. I like it. I like it.
Superman could kill Robin like that, first off. I can't believe you say Robin's cool. He's like a kid who dresses up in spandex as opposed to Superman, who at least he was the first guy to dress up in spandex. At least he was original. Robin was just one of these fakers. Although I kind of like the Robin series too. I mean, his car is better than the Batmobile, pretty much.
Yeah, the car is phenomenal.
Taking a look at In Case You Missed It, you might want to pick up Captain Stern, a series done by Bernie Wrightson. It's the same character from the Heavy Metal movie, if you saw that. And if you want to learn how to draw comics, please, for God's sakes, every comic book guy I ever talked to said you must look at Bernie Wrightson's artwork first.
You should also try to get a hold of Daredevil number 321. This is perhaps the most important Daredevil issue of the year. This is the first appearance of the brand new costume in the regular series, and it's also the first actual story in which they portray Daredevil in his new dark Batman vigilante type style.
Where can you find out about new and interesting comic book products? At ComicFest, of course, where we interviewed everybody at the expo to find out what's new and interesting in comic books.
It seems everywhere you go these days, people have a new comic book company and new ways of using comic book characters.
We have a major Broadway musical that is in production right now that will probably appear within a year.
It's not guys with big styrofoam heads, right?
This is live actors dancing and singing on the stage. It's pretty much like the musical Grease.
The media is one of our ways of marketing strategies anyway, because we also distribute from places that a lot of comics aren't in. We're in clothing stores.
We feel that Elfquest is standing right on the cusp of big things. Wendy talked about the movie. We've signed a deal to do trading cards with Skybox.
Comic books are creeping into every facet of society, everything from video games to comic books on computers to movies and cartoons.
Will there be a line of toys based after Cadillacs and dinosaurs?
Exactly. Tyco Toys will be unveiling their line, I believe, in time for Christmas sales, but they'll be focusing primarily on first quarter '94.
Well, this Spider-Man animated, it looks like what basically spring of next year. It's 60-some-odd episodes. That seems very, very exciting to us. In the Spider-Man animated series, you will also see other guests. There will be some of the Avengers. I know that Iron Man is slated to be in it. So.
Comic Mart is a computerized trading network for retailers, and what it does, it enables them to correspond with one another. It's like a bulletin board system, so that they can exchange merchandise on a wholesale level.
Well, one thing that just came out last week, and we do have copies here at ComicFest, is our comic book superstars, which is like a who's who of comics, and we've got pictures and artwork of all the various comics creators. And we're going to be doing more books in the future that are reference books for comics collectors.
We have Dagger Action Audio. Our comic books are on tape. It's not a beep sound where the narrator reads the page and you turn it. It's not rock band music. We went out and we contracted voice artists to go into a studio and cut the comic book where they are the character.
What about merchandise in terms of like Spawn action figures or Youngblood action figures?
Yeah, as you know, we're introducing the Spawn Hot Wheel this weekend. Toys are definitely in the works. The Spawn toy should happen very soon. All the guys have been dealing with a lot of different people, so you should see, I'm sure Rob will probably like to introduce a toy line with his cartoon and this and that just to make it more available.
It's Malibu Comics Entertainment, and the big word there is entertainment. We develop software for video games. In fact, our company designed the Sega Genesis Batman Returns game for DC. We also are into films, Malibu Films.
An actual 30-minute long feature called Firearm that ties in directly with a comic.
When you buy Firearm number 0, you'll pick up the comic and it's packaged with the film, with the video. You watch the film first, and when the film ends, it goes right into the comic book. So the last image you see during the film, the first image you'll see for the comic book.
The comic book show will be right back, so don't go away.
Hey, where do you race? Golden Hobbies, the place to race on Ariel Road in Pine Hill. Radio-controlled cars and trucks is just the beginning. Indoor and outdoor tracks, radio-controlled cars and accessories, parts and servicing, weekly races, monthly and annual championships. Bring the family. Golden Hobbies is the place to race. Mention this ad and register to win a radio-controlled car.
DC. Incredible. Action. Astonishing. Adventure. The coolest heroes. The hottest heroines. And the most outrageous villains. Too tough for TV. In the universe.
These ain't your daddy's comic books, fanboy.
DC Comics.
Available at Marple Comics in Princeton and New Brunswick.
Have you called Bill Cole Enterprises yet? Have you? You have not? Well, you better call them, because they make Mylar Snugs and comic book preservation supplies. Bill Cole Enterprises. These are the same people that supply the Library of Congress and the National Archives. They don't mess around. They keep the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence fresh. Think of what they could do for your comic books. And not just Mylar Snugs. No, no. Acid-free backing boards, boxes, Mylights for every age of comic book. Everything is color-coded, so you don't get confused. Blue for Silver and Golden Age, black for current comics, and even purple for magazines. And now they have Mylar Snugs for ash cans. Will you listen to me? Ash cans! Bill Cole Enterprises, available at your local comic book store, or send away for their free catalog of preservation supplies. It's free. You just have to write them a letter. Bill Cole Enterprises, P.O. Box 60, Department CD, Randolph, Massachusetts, 023680060. Or to place an order, call 617-986-2653. Bill Cole Enterprises. Ask for them. Ask for them. By name.
The comic book show is back.
Lobo and RoboCop fans will soon have something in common. In December, DC will be releasing RoboCop. This crazy special book is going to involve a story in which Lobo, the alien biker psychopath from the DC universe, will accidentally party himself to death. His brain is then taken control of by this evil corporation who turns him into the ultimate police officer. Hence, RoboCop is born. He is then released into society to administer justice in his own way. Trust me, this book is going to be a must-read. If you're a big fan of the whole Superman death story, which involves Doomsday, who is this big, nasty villain who, of course, kills Superman, you might want to check out the Roger Stern novel, The Life and Death of Superman. If you read the comic, you're probably asking, why should I read the novel? Two very good reasons. One, the battle is a lot larger than it was in the comic book, and two, which is perhaps the best reason of all, a much better explanation of the villain Doomsday origin is explained. So be sure to check it out. It's definitely a book that comic book fans would put on the bestsellers list. Many comic book companies have already published comics with a cause, and now it's Malibu's turn. Malibu will be offering its ARC comic for flood relief victims. ARC stands for American Red Cross. The comic will be available to anyone who makes a donation of $5 or more to the American Red Cross. Its cover features Prime from Malibu's Ultraverse. Prime is basically the Tom Hanks big equivalent to a superhero in comic books. Send your money. It's a good book. It's for a good cause, and the offer expires as of December 31st of this year or by the time supplies run out.
Taking a look at card news, if you're a big fan of the Star Wars cards, make sure you check out New Visions, the art of the Star Wars galaxy, put out by Topps. Skybox has a new set of sky caps for Jurassic Park. There are 54 caps in the set and 3 subsets. There'll also be 6 hologram dinosaur sky caps. Pick up Dark Dominion trading cards in their binders, which came out at the end of October. And Batman, the Animated Series trading cards, set 2, with a 30-card subset featuring the new villain Phantasm. That's from the Batman animated movie. Look for a review of that on the show. and 2,000 signed Penguin cards signed by Danny DeVito. We went down to ComicFest where people were waiting 3 hours in line to see Todd McFarlane. We butted in front of everybody so Nikki could interview him. Here's the report.
Hi, Todd. How you doing today?
Good. How are you doing, Nikki?
How's ComicFest 93 been treating you?
Not too bad. We got a bit of a crowd here we got to take care of, but hopefully we can organize it a little bit better as the hours go by.
So tell me, what are some of next year's plans for Spawn?
We got the Spawn Batman crossover that I'll be doing the artwork, and Frank Miller will be doing the writing on, coming back for the first time on Batman since his Batman Dark Knight Returns in Batman Year One. And then just a matter of finalizing deals for mass market, trying to get the character out, you know, to the public instead of keeping into the cottage community, you know, of comic books right now. So I'm trying to, as we all are, trying to get movie deals done and video deals, and we'll be able to announce those early next year. So.
Is that true that Spawn will be getting his own cartoon animation?
You know, I mean, on the animation, and we're just looking for specials right now, not like a weekly or something. I just don't think that it lends itself to being that and the kind of animation that I want. Plus, the character's a little bit dark and gritty. I mean, it would never go on. We're talking with, you know, the cable stations that you can get away with a little bit of a darker edge on it, you know, where I don't think it lends itself to Saturday morning cartoon. The live action is the stuff that would give it the dark, gritty edge. And, I mean, like I said, you know, I don't got that much cute stuff in my book, so it doesn't, I don't lend my stuff as well as a lot of the other guys do to, you know, nice toy lines and stuff that would be accessible to moms and dads. Thank you. So, thank you.
What made you actually want to get involved in comics? How did this all start?
I think like anybody else. I mean, I drew like anybody else, and then I was collecting baseball cards up until the age of 17, and then all of a sudden I got bored of baseball cards and said, you know, I'm going to start spending my money on comic books. And then you have to get to the point, I think, in comic books, thank you, where you look at the books and you think that you're better than somebody, because otherwise why would you ever get into the job? So you go, I can draw hands better than that, I can do this. You have to get a bit of an attitude, and then you start teaching yourself and try to break in, and after about 3 or 4 years of following comics and teaching myself, I end up getting my first job.
What was it like working with Neil Gaiman on Spawn #9?
He's a funny guy. Neil, you know, he's a polite, he's a very influential person in the business right now, and he's so polite. He's opposite of me, where I like to like bug everybody and, you know, just throw out stuff just for the sake of getting a reaction. Where he's very polite, but he's highly intelligent, and he's very open to letting me get in on the ideas that he wants to put down on the paper and stuff. And you know, it wasn't like he came in. People think that people like Frank Miller and Neil Gaiman and that, you know, have a bit of a, you know, an air about them that they're tough to work with. No, they're the same as anybody else. You know, they just happen to sell a few more books or have a bigger audience than some other people. Doesn't change their attitude. So.
We interviewed Neil Gaiman on our first show, and he did a great imitation of you.
Hey, Neil, it's Desertmeister, you know. How would you like to do Spawn?
Do you have an imitation of Neil?
No, because he's too polite. I know, he did his Bill Murray, I'm punch drunk, my Neil Gaiman, no. Because he doesn't say nothing. He says, I'll do my Neil Gaiman, no matter what you do. Oh, that's a pity. See, if you shoot his wife, oh, that's a pity. If you kick his dog, oh, that's a pity. He never says nothing to anybody. So for Neil, I just think he needs to get a little bit more ornery. So if he gets a little more ornery, I'll become a little bit nicer, and then we'll still keep the balance in check.
Jack, look out!
For the best selection in mainstream and independent comics, visit the Comic Collection on Bustleton Avenue and Street Road in Feasterville. We have the largest backstock variety in the area, reliable subscription service, used and new compact discs, and a full range of comic-related merchandise. Our courteous staff is available to answer all of your questions. Mention this comic book show ad, and first-time customers receive a free issue of Legends of the Dark Knight. That's the Comic Collection in Feasterville for the serious comic book collector.
DC. Incredible. Action. Astonishing. Adventure. The coolest heroes. The hottest heroines. And the most outrageous villain. Too tough for TV. In the universe.
These ain't your daddy's comic books, fanboy.
DC Comics.
Available at Marvel Comics in Princeton and New Brunswick.
Hey, where do you race? Golden Hobbies, the place to race on Ariel Road in Pine Hill. Radio-controlled cars and trucks is just the beginning. Indoor and outdoor tracks, radio-controlled cars and accessories, parts and servicing, weekly races, monthly and annual championships. Bring the family. Golden Hobbies is the place to race. Mention this ad and register to win a radio-controlled car. Fight censorship. Support the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation, write the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund at P.O. Box 693, Northampton, Massachusetts, 01061, and help keep freedom of speech free.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Hulk Counter Hulk, the news program that addresses both sides of the issue. As always, my guests are the Smart Hulk and the Original Hulk. Smart Hulk, what is your opinion, or do you have a solution to the deficit problem?
Nolan, I think the key to any significant and lasting economic recovery lies in keeping interest rates low and re-educating the displaced workforce. In fact, I have mapped out a 12-step program here that will not only reduce unemployment, it will cut the deficit in half in 7 to 10 years.
That's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Original Hulk, how do you respond to that?
Hulk not like deficit. Make Hulk angry. Soldiers shoot at Hulk. Make Hulk mad. And the madder Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets.
Well, that's all for today. Join us next week on Hulk Counter Hulk.
For transcript of Hulk Counter Hulk, send $3 to TCBS Transcripts, P.O. Box 10035, Philadelphia, PA 19108.
Today's lucky letter comes from Jason Wedge, who writes us, Dear Comic Book Show, what do you think will be the new comic book trend in '94? Well, honestly, I think the next trend is going to be comic books becoming more visual. More and more television shows based on comic book characters, about comic book characters, and a lot more animation, live-action series, just all based on comic books.
I completely agree. I also think that the trend next year will be to sort of smooth out some of the gimmicks, that the gimmicks have really gotten out of hand, especially in '93 with the hologram stuff. I think the hologram stuff is going to go, and so is all the chromium stuff. Or either that or it's going to become so common that nobody will even care. So what does he win? I'll tell you what he wins. He wins a Plasm number 0, signed by Jim Shooter himself. When Nikki interviewed Jim Shooter on a previous show or this show, I don't know. We shoot so many shows here. If you would like to win something cool, send your letter to TCBS Letters, P.O. Box 10035, Philadelphia, PA 19108. If we use your letter on the air, we'll send you something for free. Please include your name, your address, your age, and the kind of stuff you would like us to send, because we have all kinds of signed stuff, and we want to send it to you.
The Comic Book Show will be right back.
Have you called Bill Cole Enterprises yet? Have you? You have not? Well, you better call them, because they make Mylar Snugs and comic book preservation supplies. Bill Cole Enterprises. These are the same people that supply the Library of Congress and the National Archives. They don't mess around. They keep the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence fresh. Think of what they could do for your comic books. And not just Mylar Snugs. No, no. Acid-free backing boards, boxes, Mylights for every age of comic book. Everything is color-coded, so you don't get confused. Blue for Silver and Golden Age, black for current comics, and even purple for magazines. And now they have Mylar Snugs for ash cans. Will you listen to me? Ash cans! Bill Cole Enterprises, available at your local comic book store, or send away for their free catalog of preservation supplies. It's free. You just have to write them a letter. Bill Cole Enterprises, P.O. Box 60, Department CD, Randolph, Massachusetts, 023680060. Or to place an order, call 617-986-2653. Bill Cole Enterprises. Ask for them.
Ask for them by name.
For the best selection in mainstream and independent comics, visit the Comic Collection on Bustleton Avenue and Straight Road in Feasterville. We have the largest backstock variety in the area, reliable subscription service, used and new compact discs, and a full range of comic-related merchandise. Our courteous staff is available to answer all of your questions. Mention this comic book show ad, and first-time customers receive a free issue of Legends of the Dark Knight. That's the Comic Collection in Feasterville for the serious comic book collector. Hey, where do you race? Golden Hobbies, the place to race on Ariel Road in Pine Hill. Radio-controlled cars and trucks is just the beginning. Indoor and outdoor tracks, radio-controlled cars and accessories, parts and servicing, weekly races, monthly and annual championships. Bring the family. Golden Hobbies is the place to race. Mention this ad and register to win a radio-controlled car.
Welcome to Celebrity Corner. We're here with a real-life superhero, real-life hero. He doesn't like to be called superhero, Mr. T. And we're going to ask him what kind of comic books he likes. Mr. T, what kind of comic books do you like to read?
What kind of comic books do I like to read? That's a stupid question. Mr. T and the T-Force, that's the type of book I like to read. Come here, little buddy. Little buddy. Come here for a minute. Come here. All right, give my buddy some airtime. Get him on TV. That's right. This is my buddy. I just met him. He said he likes Mr. T. That's why he's here. Another thing about Mr. T book that's so special, number one, I don't carry a gun. It's not a weapon, it's a video camera. I don't carry a gun. And then when you get the book, turn to page 12. I feel like a teacher. Turn to page 12. And what you see on page 12? Mr. T holding a baby. You won't see Batman doing that, or Rifleman, or X-Man, or Z-Man. Plus, Mr. T is crying. Real tears. Well, the realest you can get on a comic book, you know what I mean? You know, that's what the T stands for. To women and children, the T stands for tender. To the bad guys, the T stands for tough. All right. Thank you, little buddy. All right. My man. We got another one? All right.
Thanks, Mr. T.
Thank you, brother. All right. Thanks now, man.
Mr. T, a very excitable celebrity here at ComicFest.
Two.
Oh, my name is Greg.
You're right.
And that's it this week for the Comic Book Show. Tune in next week. We're going to have a report from... What do we have?
We're having more Comic Fest stuff, lots of more Comic Fest stuff.
And The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep.
See you next week.
See you. Bye.
Bill Cole Enterprises is the exclusive supplier of comic book preservation supplies to the Comic Book Show. Ask for their products by name. And remember, when you go to your local comic store, say you saw it on the Comic Book Show.